Well, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Woo! Super excited to have everybody on. Yeah, 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 yeah. Miss Vanessa Collins will be joining us later on, but I am super duper excited for today's event. I have just I plan my own professional development. When I was teaching summer, we used to have 24 hours of professional development. And I used to say, what do I need? And hopefully other people will need the same thing. So I'm like, one of my needs is I watch other people build very big tribes. Hint, hint, I'm writing a book about events. And one of the things that I made a huge section about was when you're participating on somebody else's platform, when you're with a coach that's been grinding it out, they've been building their tribe and they have an event and you're fortunate enough to be invited. So this is kind of my professional development. If it's not anybody else's, this is my professional development. And in case you don't know me and this has been shared to you, and you're like, who is that lady? I'm Dr. Julia Royston. I own BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, where we're always helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. So I am super excited for this time. So, get your pen, get your paper. If you're old school, get your phone. And I want you to follow these ladies. Download whatever they have a discovery call, whatever. My platform is wide open. I don't strive to squash anybody's gift. That's the reason why I'm here. My first pastor and my father said, if whatever you're doing, seek out to be around the best who do it the best. And so I was taught that as a child. And so I have assembled who I feel like is the best and in what they do. And I'm just super excited and honored that they took time out to be here. So first, I want them to introduce themselves, tell us where they're from, tell us where they are on social media, as well as their website, so that you know how y'all are. Y'all start scrolling when the people talking to verify everything they say. I know how it goes. So we're gonna start off with Charvette. Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here, Julia. We are fans of each other and certainly the amazing panel as well. So I'm Charvette Mitchell, founder of Mitchell Productions. We are a marketing and professional development firm. On the marketing side, we work with high achieving women entrepreneurs, really around helping them to establish and shine a spotlight on all of the amazing work that they do with visibility, branding, and marketing strategies. We refer to that as the platform builder. And as a part of that, we produce book collaborations, host conferences, and some people may be familiar with the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, which we just finished episode 737. 737. And so I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the last 7 years. Prior to that, spent 25 years in corporate America, 20 of which was in training and development. And so you can find my company, Mitchell-Productions.com, or you can just Google Charvette Mitchell, or CharvetteMitchell.com will take you right there, and you'll find all of the connection points and links for us.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. All right, love. Go ahead and take it away.
Good evening.
Miss Monica.
Can you hear me?
Yes, love.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm Romonica Plachette, and I help people get over their fear of video. So I've been calling myself like a breakthrough coach because I really have to help them break through their limiting beliefs about who they are so that they can actually show up online by creating content, specifically video, which is very popular right now, and it has been for quite some time. Prior to that, I also worked in corporate for about 20 years. I was an area manager with Enterprise Holdings. So I was responsible for 8 locations and 40 full-time employees. So it's pretty cool being a solopreneur or one person business right now. Like I really, really enjoy that. And I just believe that every woman was literally created to do something amazing. And it is your job. It is your job to make sure that you are actually showing up so that your ideal audience can actually see you. Someone is looking for you right now and they can't find you. But if you need to find me, you can actually go to www.theboldchick.com. And of course, I'm on all of the social media platforms as Romonica Plachette and or the Bold Chick. Just Google me, okay?
Child, you know what? That's why I met Romonica. She was the boldchick.com. And so she was bold back then and she still is to this day. So I gotta ask you first, kind of the background of your business. Like, how did you get started? For me, I feel like the game came to me. You know, I'm one of those ones who, well, first off, I was born in it because my father and mother, my dad was a teacher by day, and then we had a business in the evening. At the height of my dad's janitor service, we hired the teachers that he worked with. He hired them to work in his business. So I think at the height it was like 50 employees. So I started answering the phone for my dad at like 9 years old. So all those speech therapy that I took, and ear, nose, and throat doctor visits, and then I had problems with my feet, and I had oh wow, and then glasses. These glasses are cute, but back then they wasn't cute. But anyway, so entrepreneurship has really kind of been in my blood. You know, Skybright Louisville, can I help you? Where at Skybright we do it right. So he had a tag, the whole 9 yards. So I was really kind of raised with entrepreneurship, but I didn't want to work that hard really when I first. As a child, we always worked. We worked 24/7. So, but of course, you know, I'm doing it now. And so when in 2007, when God said it's time to put the book together, I had no idea I would be here in this space. I thought I obey God with one book and everything would be okay. And no, I said no for 2 years until 2009 when somebody said they're going to pay me to publish their book. So the game really kind of came to me. And every time I ever really get frantic, God said, remember, I started this. And when it's over, I'm going to finish it. And so it means keep going until I tell you to stop. So for me, 250 authors later, we're headed toward 300. I think I have a tribe. I do, but I have a group. But how did you really get started? Like, I know we're primarily solopreneurs. That's where we start. But getting to this space, I just kept saying yes. And then more people told other people, you know, that old commercial on TV, and they told 2 friends and so on and so on. So how did it start for you? Either one of you want to start?
It's actually, I feel like I kind of fell into it. I left corporate without a plan. And honestly, Lisa Nichols had I think it was a speaking something online thing. And I actually joined that. And one of the coaches on her platform said, hey, follow me on Periscope.
Oh, yeah.
What Periscope was at the time.
Yeah.
I just kind of found myself in this space. I found my first good coach. Let's say that. My first good coach was Danielle Winningham. And one of the things that she instilled in us was making sure that we show up on Periscope again, not even knowing what that was. And for those of you who are watching that don't know, it was really like one of the first live stream platforms. And so I just started showing up. I didn't know what to talk about. It's amazing that I talk about content now, but I just didn't know. And what I found myself doing was just showing up every day, which is what I still encourage people to do. Show up daily, whether it's pre-recorded or not, but show up daily. And I think that people will be attracted to you and your message. I'm not really big into niching down. I'm sure we'll get into that later. But I believe that if you show up and if you are authentically you, your tribe will find you. Let me say that. Your tribe will find you.
Yeah, that consistency is something that is, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Sharvette, how did it get started? Did the game come to you? You said, I gotta have a plan. How did it start for you?
So for me, my business started sitting at a girlfriend's kitchen table. And so we were working on her. She was starting a new business. And so I've always been the creative one. I have a degree in marketing from Virginia Commonwealth University, go VCU Rams. And so I always kind of had that marketing, the visual branding side. And so I was helping her with some things like business cards and brochures and et cetera. She didn't have a website. And so I said, well, let's stop. Let me go figure out a website, a little rinky-dink website, so we can put something on your materials before we go do all this printing. And then someone else said, hey, can you help me with the site? And someone else said, can you help me? And then after about 3 free sites, I realized that I had a solution to a problem that people would pay for.
Yeah.
I had a solution to a problem that people would pay for. And that's how Mitchell Production started, as a web design business. We no longer offer web design, but then what started happening, as we all know, evolution and pivoting, is that there were either people who needed my consultation on the front end before we could even start a web design process, or they needed it on the back end. Website is up, now what? And that's how I found myself in this coaching and consulting space, and more, better served at the 30,000 level feet versus on the ground. And that's where the coaching and consulting piece came about and evolved over the years. So that's a little bit about how we got started.
Well, the first person that came to me and said, okay, I have poetry book. My first book was poetry. I have a poetry book. I write poetry. I'm going to pay you. Well, of course, I didn't really know what to charge. I was like, you're going to pay me? I'm just going to teach you. I was like you. I was going to do the free thing. I'll just show you how to do it, and then you go on, so I don't have to be responsible, accountable, and have to learn and have to get my structure and systems in place and get things ready to go. So even before that, because it was a skill I had, something I was learning. When I look back on my first books, I'm like, oh Lord, this is a hot mess. Like, what was I thinking? That's the ugliest thing. What was I doing? But you evolve, you continue to move forward, and you continue to hopefully get better. That you get on other webinars, you take a class, you get a coach, so that you get better. But I want to really kind of go back even further that to the beginning. Have you always worked well with people? What are 1 or 2, 3? I'm wondering if it's I'm not trying to spiritualize it, I promise y'all. But if you're really just called to that, or does your gifting match opportunity, or your willingness, is it a part of your personality? Can it be taught? Or is it, is that unique to you? And then kind of 1 or 2 things that you really feel are really key for, even in the space, working with other people, whether you want to coach them or not, even in the basic business space. What are like 1 or 2 things that you really, even before you get a tribe, even before you build anything, what are the core things that you feel like you need to have, like you should have?
So I'll jump in first here. And so your original question, like, is it a gift? Can you learn? And I feel like it's a mixture. In my opinion, even if you are gifted in a space, you still also need to add learning and your own kind of development to that. So I do feel like there is a mix. There is a mix there. For me, I've always been a person that can establish rapport pretty quickly. And I was always a person of like professionalism and delivering and doing what I said I would do. You'd be surprised how many war stories I heard in the web design space of people coming to me saying, I paid for a website, I paid the deposit, the designer disappeared. Like, I can't find them. I heard that over and over and over again, which to me, my core, does not, like, my core being is like, like if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. So consistent, professional, and establishing rapport with people easily were my personal strengths, I would say, that I brought to this.
Right. Ramonica?
Yeah. So I feel like it's a calling and a gift. And I say that for me because my mom said that when I was a Head Start kid, that literally I would be up helping other kids. My grandmother and the teacher would say, they call me lady. They would say, hey, lady, sit down. We got it. So I've always helped. Now, I would say my dad, along with some personal development books, kind of shaped it. I just looked down on my desk, and this is one of my favorite books. I've been in and out of this book since I was in high school. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And I could literally read like a chapter, and that chapter would be enough for me for the whole year, which is why I tell people I've been in and out of the book my whole life. So I think you definitely have to work with the gift, work with the calling, get yourself educated. I'm a fan of coaching, as well. Is it something that I feel like people could do? Like, can you learn that? Yes. I think you can learn it. You definitely, have to work with it. I think it's like anything else. If you're really interested in doing it, then you'll put in the work to learn the skill. So yeah. And then you say, is there a special, thing that you have to work with people? I've always called it P squared. Even when I worked in corporate, I think you need an element of professionalism, and you need an element of, just being like a real person. It's like, yes, you have to be professional, but who are you? Because I think, to me, that's always been the lead, being a real person, keeping it real, showing the human side, even in the corporate space.
Yeah, that's really hard for authors because most of them are introverts. Most of them, they're like, just put me in with a laptop alone in in an office. Y'all know this is my messy office. This is what I do. I mean, I got like 10 books going on at the same time that I'm writing. I'm helping 10 or 15 people. I have one author who asked me, like the preachers, baby, how you running these days? How the preacher's like, how many members you got? She's like, baby, how you running these days? I said, Ma, I'm 10 to 15 deep. Baby, really? So she's an excellent National Association of Black Journalists Hall of Famer. So she's always like, baby, how you running that deep? I said, yeah, boo, I'm running that deep. But it's the whole point of, oh my goodness, some people you just really have to really pull it. I mean, as the bold chick, Monica, that fear holds back a lot of people from even getting started. They have the gift, they have the talent, they have the willingness, but they're so afraid. I'm not the one for that. That's the reason why y'all on here tonight. Because I pulling you to the finish line. I'm like, well, I'll go finish and I'll come back for you when you're I'm like, I'll go on and finish. And then when you're ready, you come find me or whatever. But that whole fear piece in my space and in the writing space is a real place, is a real thing, and when people ask authors for more, that's where they really get the first steps of coaching. Like, people read their book and they say, well, can you coach me? You survived, you endured, you made it. Can you coach me? Can you help me? And I warn them now, after almost 17 years in this, I warned them. I was like, okay, let me just tell you, it's good, but are you ready for people to ask you for more? Are you ready I want you to prepare yourself, especially people who write those personal memoir and all of that. Are you ready for people to ask for more? So I'm saying that for anybody who's listening, even in the coaching space, you haven't written a book yet, which you should. Hello, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna put that out there. But are you ready for people to ask you for more? And I'll just let that settle. Yeah. Because I think that's a part of that. Your message, your personality draws people to you, but they're asking you for more. And that's a yes or no. Now, these wonderful coaches can teach you this, and you need this, and you need this. I mean, Charvette has a list. I know Monica has a list, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. But you have to be ready initially, for me, for the more. So are you ready for the more? I think that's more and one of the important things, not everything, but are you ready for people to ask you for more? And I had to decide that for myself as a coach, as a business owner. That's how you're going to grow it, is that you have to be ready for more. I mean, the scripture even tells us, a larger territory, but you got to extend your stakes. You got to realize you need a bigger tent. You need more knowledge. You need more understanding. You don't know enough yet. You don't know, enough to you just have to continue to grow. And that lifelong learning, most people think it's a cliche, but it's not. It's an ongoing thing. It's a constant thing. And in honor of National Black Business Month and just my own, as I said earlier, my own personal development, you want to always be in a tribe, in a group where you're not always the smartest one in the room. Always want to be able to do that. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but that learning, that call, that core of you. And I gotta ask this. Is it I know money is a great motivator, but do you feel like your mission and your methods will bring the money?
Yes, 100%. So can I go back just a hair, because you
Sure.
mentioned here, and I feel like a lot of the people that I work with, and probably the people that you work with as well, are faith-based in some kind of way. And so fear is one of those words that's mentioned in the Bible so many times. So fear and the word introvert, I feel like that's a new word. When I was in school, I didn't hear that. We could identify a handful of people who were shy.
Yeah.
Shy, like almost to the point where you just looked out for those people. At least I did. So this introvert term, in my opinion, is just one of those labels that people have attached to themselves to kind of give themselves like this get out of jail free card of showing up. Like, I'm an introvert now. And it's like, okay, so what does that mean? Like, it's okay to be an introvert. I want you to embrace that. Maybe you may be a little apprehensive or you may be a little shy, but that's still not an excuse for you not to show up. Because again, if we know that our gift is our gift and our gift is not for us, our gift is for us to pour out onto other people, then how dare you not show up? Because there's someone, their destiny is kind of caught up in you not showing up. So I encourage people to really show up and to be present however you are present. So if it's with the meek and mild tone, so what? Let it be. I just think we kind of live in a world now, especially on social media. We see Romonica or Julia or Charvette who's like, hey, I'm here. And then someone else is saying, oh, I could never do that. Well, maybe you're going to be on a podcast. Maybe you're going to do
audio only. Yeah.
Presentation. You got to find your way in the market versus comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
That's my dial back. Real quick though, where we are with the money versus the mission, if you will. For me, it's purpose. I mean, that's the one thing I can tell you that I loved about corporate is that corporate said, hey, look, we're going to pay you this money and we want you to pour out on our people.
Yeah.
Of course, on the entrepreneur side, it doesn't quite work that way, but I just have this servant's heart, so much so that in 22, the Lord gave me Fawn, and which I didn't mention it, but I'm going to mention it now. It's fully activated woman now. And he says, hey, these women believe in me as they should, but they don't believe in the gift that I've placed on the inside of them. So they kind of hide. And I'm saying, no, come forward. You have a gift. Your gift is not for you. Your gift is for other people. Stop beating yourself up by saying things like, oh, I do this so well for other people, but I can't do it for myself. Well, it's like at Christmas when you buy a gift for someone else, you have a gift, right? And so your gift is not really for you. It's to pour out. And so I'm a huge fan of people just showing up. And so, yes, I would show up for free. I'm going to show up for pay. The money definitely comes. I can think about where I started versus where I am now. And it's just a process. And I think we don't speak enough about the process and everything that happens in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. And so can I jump in and just dial back, as Romonica said, about this conversation about introverts and fear, or people who identify as introverts? Because what happens, just like she said, they feel like it's a permission slip, and so I don't do anything. Versus, so then I have questions. If you don't market your company, your business, who is? That's the first question. The second thing is, to her point also, then lean into what you should be writing blogs every day. You should be releasing podcasts every day. Like if you don't want to be seen, if you don't want to be visible, but you can say, I want to be behind the scenes, then you should be producing that. And this is the last thing I want to say with this dial back related to fear. Oftentimes people will look at people like us and say, well, if I didn't have any fear, I would be out on video, or I would be out. But what they don't recognize is that a lot of people still operate with fear, but what they do is they make sure that their confidence is just a little bit more than fear. This is what I tell my customers. I just need you to have 51% confidence. I'm okay with you still having 49% fear. You just need a few more percentages of confidence, or whatever you want to call it, above your fear. And so I just wanted to go back to that, to nail that. And certainly money is a driver. Money is a key performance indicator for us. However, I'm not going to say but, however, what is rewarding is recognizing when you work with clients that you are assigned to work with, and they get breakthroughs and they get ahas and they have customers, then that is completely rewarding. That's completely rewarding. And you can look back and say, even if I did this launch and I feel like I didn't, you didn't get what you didn't get what you wanted to get. But there's one person, like literally, there was one time we did a photo shoot, and the young lady had never gotten her nails done before. And when I tell you, she came alive, it was a transformation, just getting makeup done, nails done, and photo shoot, a complete transformation. And if it was for that person, that one person then it was worth however many other people who even signed up that year. And so that's how I kind of think about it.
Oh yeah. I'm with all of it 1,000%. Now, in November of 2023, I was at Charvette's event, and they taught me the new word, ambivert. So I found out I do have some traits of being introvert, not much, because I'm an ambivert. I was like, okay, I like to be alone. I like that. It's okay. But I'm such a talker. I can't, I just, I can't do it. So, I've been using that. Well, I learned a new word, ambivert.
Yeah.
Because there are some times where I don't want to talk. I don't want to be with people. I'm like, it's like that comedian. I'm peopled out. I'm peopled out. But I agree wholeheartedly that you have to show up as authentically as you. I have to show up as Julia Royston. I can't show up as other people, because I think that does the world a disservice, because like your fingerprint, like God has numbered all the hairs on your head. You're unique. You're one of a kind. God called you. And the scripture didn't say, if you have this gift, but it said a man's gift. So that means everybody. That's humankind, not women or only men have it. It's humankind. So we all have something that we do that God has placed down in us. And my father used to say, a gifted person should never be broke a day in their life. But you can't be that non-broke if you won't tell nobody about what you have to offer. Like, you won't tell nobody what you have to give. So we've kind of mentioned the things about building your tribe, the showing up, the being consistent. I have people often like, well, I went live that one time, Ramonica. I posted that one time video on Charvette, and nothing happened. And nothing, I did it once, nothing happened. Yeah. So I guess I'm not called to that. I guess I can't do that. I'm like, one time? What you mean one time, boo? What you mean? One time? And what day was that? And when was that? And so
when I'm scrolling through your page, I can't even find. You said you got the event. I'm scrolling. Where did you post it?
Oh, it was on there
3 months ago.
That one time.
I wanted to buy it or whatever. I can't find it.
So that whole being consistent and figuring out how many ways. So building a tribe, to me, the foundation of it, of course, we've already stated, is that consistency. You got to do it over and over. And I tell you what, I was in that same Periscope group, and I'll be like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? And people start saying, oh, you're the one who does. That's how I found Danielle. She was in our car in the McDonald's parking lot, talking on Periscope, dropping her kids off to school. And that's how I found her myself. And so I started doing the same thing. I'm like, okay, it works for her. Let me work it for me. And so then people started saying, you're the one who goes live in her car for about 10 minutes, for about 7 minutes. And then over time, those videos still pop up in my Facebook. So in my Facebook memories, where I'm like, oh Lord, that's 8 years ago. Let's see, I was still teaching. Oh, I was on my way to school. Oh my God. So it's that whole consistency. But in addition to consistency, is that fear be gone. I gotta go for it. I gotta go for it. I gotta go for it on me, the gift that's down inside of me. So I know that fear comes up, but so when you're talking about building a tribe, all of a sudden you have a following. Because back in the day we used to say, click on the subscribe, or so you get the notifications and all that. And then you get notifications when you go live, etc. But building a tribe, do you look up one day and look back and people are following you because you're leading? Or were you intentional to say, I need these numbers? I'm building, I'm building a following. Come on in my group, add to my group. So what do you think are the one or two things that contributes to actually building a tribe?
Go ahead, right now.
I think you just need to be yourself. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, I think being in the coaching space and then being in the online space, you see a lot and you can easily be influenced to feel like you have to be and do a certain thing. So I think it's important to be yourself and to know yourself, and understand that it's a process. I always say no one went from first grade to 12th grade. So everything in the middle is a process. And I'm not saying it's going to take 12 years. I'm just saying it's a process. The people that a lot of people love, I was about to say Beyonce. I don't know that I love Beyonce, but let's go with Oprah. This lady, over the course of 40, 50 years, she's been doing her thing. And so if you didn't know the story, you would just say she just popped up.
Yeah.
I think it's important to know, first and foremost, it's a process. Be yourself, because you can't be anyone else. It's the thing. If you be yourself, you can just hold true to what you do. You can do it over time. You can do it when you don't feel like it, because you're just being yourself. The moment you try to become your coach or, your pastor or whoever your person of leadership is, the moment you try to do that, I think that's where people lose. I think they're looking at the numbers, the vanity numbers so much and saying, well, I only have 200 people or only 5 people came to my live stream. And if you're someone watching now by replay and that's what you said before, or it's just 200 people watch, that's the equivalent of 200 people watching you while you're on stage. And so what if those 200 people are really interested people in your product or your service? I would rather have only 200 people who are really interested versus a viral video of me twerking and I have 1 million views and I now have this huge audience of people who really aren't interested in me now because that twerk was my birthday video, but really I'm a book author. And so I think we have to be careful about that. And I think I probably need to talk about it more, because I'm in groups of people who have 40, 50, 100,000 followers, but they're also saying, hey, how do I monetize my audience? And so the follower count is this big misconception. The follower count is not how you manage your success. How you manage your success is building a tribe of people who genuinely are into what it is that you speak about.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be one thing. We're going to get into that, but
yeah. Go ahead.
And so a distinction for me between even just followers and even subscribers versus tribe is the community within themselves. And so what was a key for me that I needed to start a Facebook group was I was noticing on my personal page, I would, put a post up or what have you. And there was a ton of community and commentary within the comments, in between just women in between. And I recognize, okay, there are followers who are also have their own community just because they happen to be connected to me. We are fortunate to curate the space, but when your followers connect with each other, to me, that is a tribe and that is community. And that's what signaled, okay, hey, I need a separate location where I can pull this community aspect in and over. And that's where the tribe began for me. So that's the distinction that that I believe is the difference between just followers versus your tribe.
Yeah. And of course, the ability to be able to call them out or get, questions answered, or and of course that takes, as Michelle Obama says, that takes grown-up adults to be able to do that, to be able to foster that. Not only is the tribe or the community here for me, but the community is here for other people. Now, I know we could talk about all day of people trying to build their platforms in your space, in your community, but there is a way that should be done. There is a way for people to, the whole spamming and all the promoting of what you're doing in my space, is something that you've seen it. You've been in groups where people are not really interested in helping the community. It's just all about helping me. It's all about one-sided, and we're trying to all build. That's one of my main rule number one. Even if I do an event and we have a multiple booths and there's multiple authors, what we do is we're selling everybody's book. We work as a team. So yeah, if they want a sci-fi book, I don't write sci-fi, so I'm gonna help sell yours. But next time they may want my children's book. So we are all work together as a team. So having that community said, how do you establish rules in that community? With that, I know that's a soapbox of mine, but how do you?
Facebook makes it nice and easy to have rules, and I can say I haven't had much trouble with spams.
I don't see it in your. I don't see it.
People that my community honors that. I do give 1 day of promotion on Saturday, and I'm like, anything and everything you want to promote. So that's how I handle to say you do, because it's marketing tips with Charvette. So I recognize that entrepreneur, there needs to be marketing. So I get 1 day, and then I really don't have too much of a problem. If somebody does post something that's not on Saturday, we just delete it.
Yeah. And as they say, Ramonica?
Yeah, no, I like that. So I've kind of taken my Facebook group, the real active people, into a place where we can really get it popping, if you will. So I love the new Facebook. I don't have the broadcast channel, but it's the Messenger group. And what I love about the Messenger group is that we're able to do the audios, post the polls, and I feel like the engagement is pretty heavy there. Every now and then, someone slides through and they make an inappropriate post promoting their stuff, because that's not where we promote. That would be back at the group. And so I can just remove. And if it happens multiple times, now you're out completely.
Yeah.
But I think when people know who you are and they know what you stand for the most part, they're not going to try you, for the most part.
Well, I'm I really have strived. I had Facebook groups, but I know my audience, I know my folks. So I just said, okay, let's get off. And so they're primarily in my email list, and they're segmented there, and that's where we communicate. And when there's a promotional opportunity or a sales opportunity, I send it out. Y'all in, y'all not. Y'all coming, y'all not. That's where we going, and that's what we're doing. Now, anything else that I need or want for as they say, the World Wide Web to know, then I do that totally different, and in another space, or just a global space on all the social media platforms. But I just feel like as a coach, I want to see us all win. I'm okay with, you published one book with me and then you went on and published something else. And I'm saying, congratulations, awesome, go for it. If you decide you want to self-publish the next time, if you want to be traditionally published, go for it. It is just, it's still an extension of me. I'm okay. I'm good with that. Don't you think you have to be like, okay with, like Ramonica says, yourself for that, for coaching other people, sustaining it, expanding it? Because some people expand straight out of the group. They establish their own group. They didn't go in and say, okay, I'm starting a group in Charvette's group and say, all right, click on this link and I'm going to take you out. No, they just build it organically from scratch, and, their own clients, and they just continue to build. So you gotta be okay with that. Like seeing your children and grandchildren. I know we're not old enough for grandchildren, but when we see our children moving forward, and I don't have any biological children, so it's my client children, it's my coaching clients that I see growing, and I'm like, oh yay, that's so great.
Yeah, your clients, I don't think we are, as coaches, are going to be coaching people, the same people, like 10 years from now. So it's cyclical, so people need you at a time where you have what they need. Your hope is that they grow and move. Now, there's some clients that kind of may stay along a little bit longer than others, but your hope is that they get what they need, and then whoever else is down the road. I think of a client, Maria Davis Pierre. I worked with her probably 4 or 5 years ago now. But now when I look at her, like 7 figures, like all of this media attention, all of it, I helped at this space here.
Yeah.
Now she is down here. And you have to be, you have to be okay with that and kind of pop your collar and say, I helped at the beginning, of that. And now she's gone on doing, amazing things. So I do it as coaches. I think that what we don't talk enough about is the connection to our personality, our esteem, our worthiness, and all of those kind of things that we have to detach to say, we've done our job, we've done what we could do. Because some clients, and I'm sure Ramonica can attest to this, we give everything, and then it's like crickets. It's like, I set you up. We've got a book collaboration going right now. I've given 30, we got 30 graphics. We got custom Facebook covers. We got custom graphics. We got social media content. We handed this whole package over. But at the end of the day, it is still the client that has to execute. We cannot execute. We can set them up. And so that, I think we don't talk enough about, just that mental piece of if you've set them up, you have to disconnect, and you cannot attach their outcome to your worthiness or the worthiness of your program or your service. That's on them.
Now that's a hard one. Y'all get ready to do a therapy session for me, because that's very difficult for me. It's really hard for me because I want you to win. And I gave you videos, and I gave you this, and I gave you this, and I'm like, fly, let's go. And I need to put you back in the nest and feed you again and try it again. But that's gonna cost. You can't come back, keep coming. What? So y'all help me with that, because I'm I want you to win. I want you to go forward. But some people, I will confess, some people want to be handheld and spoon fed.
Yes,
that's not really true.
Your best friend going, no,
that's not really true. Because you can do that, and still some people are going to run, and some people it's other things going on.
Yeah.
I think it's just important to know where people are. And so I say that because I recently created this tool. It's an online marketing assessment. I will not work with anyone until they do the assessment. Now, I started out just doing the assessments, and then I realized that there needed to be some coaching, because I'm talking to them about their mindset, which is going to be the indicator about where they are regarding their expertise, where they are regarding doing the work. And then, we talk about the content, we talk about the digital product part, and we talk about their tech stack. Those are kind of like things that I work with people around. And so that already tells me, but it also lets them know where they are. And the one thing that I love about this, because I just launched it about a week and a half ago, is every single person that went through it, they all said the same thing. Oh my gosh, the level of clarity that I got. Now I completely know where I need to start. Now I know where I've been messing up. Now I know who and what I need to work with. And I've always kind of thought about our industry as like doctors and nurses, if you will.
Yes.
In the beginning, earlier coaching, Ramonica didn't ask enough questions. You're happy to get a client, it's like, I got a client.
Yay! Oh my God, I can't believe you want to work with me. You can publish your book anywhere. Oh my God, you want to work with me. And now I'm like, we need to have a conversation.
Right. Right. And I think in that old version, there was that attachment to the outcome.
Yeah.
Till you understand who you are, the type of transformation that you can help them get. It's like therapy too. Like I'm not the transformation. I help facilitate it, right?
Yeah.
And I think now I'm really clear about that, and I'm talking to them more about that. I have a client, we just kind of put things on hold because I saw she wasn't moving, and it's like I'm laying all the stuff out. She's leaving the session like yes, and then
nothing.
I'm a coach stalker, so I'm kind of looking for content like what is the content? And then, oh, life is life, and I said, let's talk. And she really had some life stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like, are you in a position where you can put it on hold for a minute? Not life stuff, but put this. Let this on hold.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste my time nor yours. I don't want to burn through your sessions. And so I think, again, a good coach, good doctor, good nurse, good therapist will see the struggle with the client if you care. If your coach cares about you, right? Your coach will say something's going on because you're not executing, you're not doing the thing. And I think once you have that conversation, and you got to be bold to have that conversation.
You do.
Then you can move forward. Everybody's dignity, everybody's integrity still in play, and then it's a relief, right?
Yeah.
So I think that helps.
Well,
From outcome.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that, we have to be in a place financially to not take advantage of people. You have to be in a place where you're comfortable in your skin and you're at a place where you can say, and it's hard, it's difficult because money is tight at places and, I wanted money for this, but I have to look at the person past the money. And I realized that it would be more detrimental for me to take on the person when they're not ready. When people come to me and they say, I'm in the middle of writing chapter 2 of a dissertation. I've written a dissertation. I know what that looks like. I said, oh, no. You come to me once you have submitted it and you have a date for defense. Once you have that, then you're ready to possibly be prepared for a book, or we can take that dissertation and convert it into a book. Until then, oh, no. I learned that a long time ago. No, when they're in dissertation writing and I got small children, that's the reason why I don't post my pricing on my website, because I need to have a conversation with you. I need to hear not only just what's coming out of your mouth, but what my discernment. And I know everybody's in different places on their faith walk, but my discernment, warning, danger, Mr. Robinson 61. Warning, danger, Mr. Robinson needs to come out to say they're not ready to move forward. So it will frustrate them and it will frustrate you. As a coach, you've got to look past everything to see what's best for them and for you. You're a team here. You work as a partnership. I think about they had a lot of commentary. I know some of you are gonna watch the replays, and we're gonna be seeing reels and stories and video from the 2024 Olympics for the longest time. But they complained because the U.S. basketball team is made up of basically stars, and some nights the stars didn't play. Some nights the stars had to bail out the whole team because sometimes the coach had to make that call of, okay, not tonight. We're going to have these starters. We're going to have these. And so when you work as a coach with other people, you've got to sometimes make those hard decisions, even if it's the detriment of your budget, even if it's to the, I would love that contract to come through. I really need those funds. But in the long haul, sometimes I've said no to one contract and prayed, oh Lord, and cried too. Say, no, it's just not right for me. It's not right for them. It doesn't align with my brand mission. It's just not going to work. Only for when I said that one no, then the right yes came. I have done it. I'm a full testimony of doing that, of waking up and realizing no, that will not work. And then I've told the person, no, I cannot. And the Lord said, I'm going to show you how much I'm for you, because you were willing to say, you were bold enough, the bold chick, to say no to something that you really needed. You really needed, and you probably could have muddled through with it, but it wasn't the right thing. And you did say no. And so, and then 2 days later, contract, easy. Hey, but what if I had been encumbered with looking at my money and looking at my finances to take on something that wasn't for me, that wasn't supposed to be for me? So, that's a tough call for coaches. And I don't know if either of you have had that happen, but it's difficult. It's a rough thing. Go ahead.
No, I definitely have had that happen before. And literally, like you, the Lord was like, ask her if she is okay. This particular person wanted me to help them with the digital course. And I was like, yes, no problem. I've done that. But the Lord was like, ask her if she's okay with showing up to promote it on social. And the word was absolutely not. She was not willing. And I was like, I can't help, because this is what I do. I mean, I'm a video person. Yes, my videos start with me writing content. So I definitely talk to people about that. But the way that I've gotten brand deals, the way that I've been featured on brand websites, everything that I've done since 2018 has been around video and me showing up. And so for me to tell someone that they could put a course out there, and I'm sure they could have ran Facebook ads, but that's not my zone of genius.
No.
So I don't need to tell someone, oh yeah, we'll create the course and you just run the ads, because I can't help them. I don't know how that method works.
Yeah.
So I got to stick to my lane and what I know. And if you came to me because you saw me in video, how did you think we were going to move forward?
Right. And not do no.
And here's the thing. The fallacy in that is that ads, paid advertising, brings people back to your organic. So if you don't have organic, you still shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
The drawing is just going to bring them back to your organic.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
So we got to shoot that. We got to shoot down all that fear, and we got to do we got to do it afraid. We've got to decide, our mission is more important than our fear. The message that we have is more important than our fear. I don't want to be like Miles Monroe, be in the grave and not die empty. I want it all poured out, whether it worked, whether 5 people saw it, whether 10 people saw it. I got that video to run again. I got that course I can monetize over and over again. If I can revise it, I can update it, but if I never start, I do not want to be in regret land. I do not want to be in regretville. I do not want to be anything with shoulda, woulda, coulda, nothing.
Yeah.
Now, if it's not for me, I'm not a gymnast, never will be. I'm not designed, to do certain things, because I'm not called to do that. I don't have a gift for that. It's not what I do. But the thing that I'm called in my lane to do, yeah, I need to improve it. Yeah, I always have to be learning. I learn from these ladies every day. Oh, yeah, I'm going to try this. Yes, I'm going to be a part of this. Oh, yeah, I need to try that. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'll take it. But when I do, what I'm called to do, and God blows on it, kisses on it, and says, I've favored you to do it, I'm living my best life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything else y'all want to add? Because I only see this comment. No. Good evening. Good evening.
And else. Go ahead.
Okay, so what's next is I need to know what's coming up for you guys.
So I've been doing the assessments. They started out as just assessments. So we're online marketing. We're looking at where you are with your content creation. Where are you with your tech stack? Where are you with your content? And where are you with your mindset? And so we're assessing those areas there. It literally tells you where you stack rank And then I'm doing a coaching session after that. Some of it is during, because they're like, what do I do next? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm currently working on. I absolutely love the clarity that people are getting on that. If you go to the page, you'll see the reviews that people have actually shared. Like, I love that. I have a content creation workbook that I'm actually redoing. I released it a couple of years ago, but content creation has taken on like this whole new thing. I think
Yeah.
for anybody, there's so many different ways to create content. There's different content goals that people should be thinking of before they just go do the reel. Like, why are you doing the reel? Knowing that, and then knowing that there's 20 different ways that you can kind of pick to do video. And that's, I think, why my clients enjoy working with me, is because I'm really showing them, it's almost like a menu. It's like, what's the goal? Check this. Okay, well, what type of video do you want to do? And then they see the list and they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do all of this. Now it's starting to feel very authentic to them, because they're not trying to dance, they're not trying to sing. They are creating video content their way. And once
Yeah.
first video under their belt and really have someone to like guide them. So they'll do the videos, they'll bring them, we'll review it. Sometimes it's just B-roll footage, and I can look at it and say, oh, that first 15 seconds is a video, the last 10 seconds is a video. They're like, wait, I got all this in one B-roll footage. Yes, you do. And then we're talking about what to go with it. So it sometimes it's not as scalable as I'd like for it to be, but it's high touch. And
Yeah.
my clients want that touch point. They don't want to have to think. And this is something that I do very naturally at this point. So I'm trying to take that high-end service and put it into a workbook. So I'm working through that process right now. So that's what I have going on. And you can find everything really on my page. I know this is being shown on Facebook. So if anyone wants to reach out, like, just introduce yourself in my DMs. My DMs are open. I hear people say, oh, don't get in my DM. To me, that's the equivalent of like Walmart or Target saying, don't DM us, don't ask us questions, don't call me. You don't need to call me a messenger unless I tell you to. But
Right.
my is open for you to come in and introduce yourself. Hey, I saw you on Julia's podcast. I'm an author. I'm this. This is, this is kind of what I need, or this is my question, or what should I be doing? I'm okay with that. I feel this is how we network in an online space. We don't have that privilege of showing up, at a networking function around the world. I can't be in 50 places, but I can meet them. So that's what I'm working on.
Cool. Definitely. And if you're a coach and you need help with that, you may have a tribe, but video is not your spot. You're let's meet for coffee and all that, but you need to get in the digital space. Let's make it happen. Charvette, what are we working on?
All right. So we just launched pre-orders for my 7th book collaboration, 7th anthology. So Julia, that's where my space is. And so Prosper is the name of the book, a guide to flourishing in life, business, and career. And we're excited that 10 of our clients that are in our 12-month program called the Platform Builder are authors in this book. So my main website, mitchell-productions.com, is where you can go to connect for that and place your pre-order. And then we are looking forward to my 8th live in-person event this coming November, November 8th and 9th in Richmond, Virginia. Thank you, Julia. You were there last year at our 7th event.
Yes, ma'am.
Platform Builder Summit. The Platform Builder Summit VIP experience was an all VIP event. And we're excited. And you can find out on the main website, mitchell-productions.com. We'll take you to the main site for the Platform Builder Summit. For women, entrepreneurs and professionals, really around your marketing and business development. We have sessions on grants and government contracting, and certainly imaging and AI and all of that. And so we're excited about the VIP experience for the Platform Builder Summit. And then we'll be enrolling in the Platform Builder program November and December. So that's what's going on in my world.
Awesome. If you have never had the VIP experience, you need to experience it at Platform Builders Summit. I just want you to, I have one favor. I'm not going to be able to attend this year, but I
I know
want you
what
to
you're gonna
take a
say.
picture. Yeah, I want you to take a picture of the bag.
I know you was gonna bag.
Because the
I got
VIP
you.
get a bag. And baby, I still got my bag, Tom. I don't know where it is. But honey, that bag was beautiful. I was like, no. And of course, I was jealous of everybody last year. I was like, look at that bag. So she curates a fantastic bag. Be sure and go to mitchell-productions.com. Vanessa Collins, come on in, slide on in at the end, baby. Oh, Lord have mercy. Slide on in at the end. Okay, so I want you to really talk about, you're building your tribe from your point of view. We've talked quite a bit about building a tribe, having a tribe, but from your vantage point, how did it start, and what have been like one or two really keys to building your tribe?
Well, hello everyone. Hey Charlotte. Hey
Hey,
Ramonica.
girl, hey.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me, Julia. I normally have my tribe membership on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, so that's why I'm a little late. I just got off of my soapbox, fussing at them. Uh,
What was you fussing about?
because listen, we have to get serious about revenue generation, particularly passive income revenue generation. If you are over 50, over 60, I don't know about anybody else, but we're in this area where we're raising kids, we're raising parents, we're dealing with caregiving, and all of these things are happening. And a couple of years ago, you planned your schedule and your schedule was your schedule and you were good.
Yeah.
Now, something can happen to mom, something can happen to somebody, and it stops on a dime.
Yep.
And if your revenue generation is only built on things that you have to be there for, hands on, and that's great, we got to have all the things, but when you can't be there, you got to be able to have that we used to call it making money in your sleep. Well, you
Yeah.
got to be able to make money from the waiting room at the hospital. You got to be able to make
Yes, you do.
money while you at rehab visiting mom. You got to have those processes and systems in place. So
Yeah.
that's what I was fussing about.
That's what you're fussing about. Well, I mean, we all need that because that's been my adage that's been my soapbox that okay, give the jobs what they're supposed to have, but you can't give them everything. You cannot. You're building somebody else's kingdom, and sometimes you're not able to actually build your own. So you can just tell Vanessa comes hot off the hot off the press of and that's a part to me of what good coaches do, is that you eventually have to, as the old folks used to say, we have to lower the boom. We have to can't sugarcoat, can't be, and there are people that are paying for coaching and don't want to do the work. Like, who does that? It'd be one thing if you didn't pay, then we could have the conversation and we can decide whether you want to stay or not. But that monthly fee, that annual fee just keeps on going and you still don't have anything accomplished. That's a little much for me. So as far as building it and expanding it, what's been two or three real keys for you, Vanessa?
Well, one of the biggest keys for me, I think, is having a heart to help people reach their goals.
Yeah.
I think that's just one of the biggest things that will attract the people to you, that you can, create this community from. I have to admit that when I first started, I didn't really understand community building. This whole thing was different. I learned by being in someone else's community. So, I always have to give a shout out to Coach Danielle Winningham, because it was in her community that I really understood, oh, wow, So this is what community really looks like, you know. And as I started doing the things in my business, you know, being able to have a heart again to help people, you know, and it goes to one of my favorite quotes from Zig Ziglar is you can have everything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
Mm.
And then the second thing is, you know, it's the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm.
You can, people don't have to be nice. People don't have to buy your stuff. People do not have to support you. You have to show yourself friendly. You have to treat people the way you want to be treated. And then the other thing, and this probably goes more to kind of the coaching thing, and you guys, you know, may have already talked about this, but trusting yourself. Trust, however you call it, your intuition, your discernment, your spirit, the Holy Spirit, however you want to, all
all
of
the
it,
mystery,
all,
all of it. Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Just really trusting yourself. You know, all money's not good money. All people that come into the community aren't necessarily there for community building. I think you have to be protective of your community because we've had situations, and I've been in other communities where, you know, people have come in, and again, you know, I learned this from Coach Danielle. You know, she was the mother hen. You didn't mess with folks in her community.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
No.
and people have to feel safe in your community. So don't ignore the red flags.
Yeah.
You know, and I think about that even like with coaching. If you are talking to someone, if you are having a discovery call and all of that, I always say they're not just seeing if they want to work with you. You are seeing if you want to work with them. And if they've had problems with every other coach, if every other mentor has been a problem, if they can't get along with nobody, be careful.
Yeah. 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 Most definitely. Most definitely. And I really, I think that that coaching space, you just have to be very careful. We talked earlier about, when I started, oh my God, Van, because me and Van have been kind of on this journey together with this publishing thing for a long time. And I was like, oh my God, Van, they're going to pay me X amount of money. And she was like, yay. And we was all yay until the end. And I was like, oh, I can't do that again. So no, I can't do that. That was this. And oh, help me. I always call her when I need her to help me. I said, talk me off this ledge. Because, if you're in an entrepreneur space, okay, it doesn't happen to y'all. So I'm not going to ask this panel because y'all are always 100% never have ever wanted to quit. So I'll just talk about Julia. I'm like, talk me off this ledge. Talk me off this roof because I'm getting ready to shut it all down. I'm in my feelings. Okay, y'all, I'm not closing. I'm just venting, but I'm like, you really need a safe place. You really need a safe spot. And people need to be able to understand, but you still have to have borders. You still have to have boundaries. You still have to have limits of what you can associate. And as much as, I've enjoyed, publishing people, there are some people I had to say no to. God bless you on your journey. Happy journey to you and wonderful blessings and may God keep you. As they say, may the Lord watch between you, between me and me. But it just won't work. It just will not work. And I think knowing that up front, and I'm with Van, I'm the same way. You're interviewing me, but I'm really interviewing you. And I being able to be able to do that. I believe every coach needs a coach. What do you think? Do you agree? Anybody have a comment on that?
I agree.
You have to grow like that. I feel like if we're pouring out to the people that we're called to serve, then that means there has to be someone who's pouring into us so that we can refill and continue to flow. And so, yeah, without some level of coaching, it doesn't even have to be a 20-month program. You know, it may be that you just need to get on a call with someone that is where you desire to be, or someone who has a skill set that can help you get over whatever, you know, hump you're challenged with at that moment, and get the help, you know. So I think it's essential.
Yeah, Charvette.
I totally agree, and I think there are, you know, different coaches for different things. You know, I think sometimes people feel like they might get one coach and have an expectation that that coach can supply, like, meet every single one of their needs, and that's just really not reality. So you might need a marketing coach, but then you might need a business development coach, and then you might need somebody for grants, and you might need somebody for video only, and then you might need, so like, where are your needs? And you might need multiple coaches. You might not need them all at the same time,
Right.
but you want to find what you are working on right then, and who has some guidance that can give you their trusted guide, you know, on this path.
Right, right. I agree wholeheartedly. The other thing I want people to understand is that when you should invest in yourself with knowledge and information, but you also need to be ready to pay. You cannot just take your shovel and keep picking people's brain for free. I see that. And a lot of author groups, especially, because that's really where I hang out in a lot of places. But that's a main place. I mean, they want the whole publishing step by step, but they haven't paid anybody anything. And I don't care if it's, I tell people all the time, I don't care if it's your high school English teacher who is reviewing your manuscript, and, you know, she can take that red pen and make it all happen, but you need to take her to dinner. You need to give her a gift card. You need to pay in some sort of way, and you need to get in the habit of doing that. That is a leech mentality, when you are only sucking other people dry, putting a straw in their back. And even if they say, no, you don't have to pay, baby, get something in your hand. If you don't have a lot, you should say thank you in some type of way. And it needs to be in some physical way, and not just an empty card with some words on it. It needs to have, if not money, it needs a gift card, something because you're making an investment. I remember when 2020, I started my foundation, and Vanessa knows I was sitting home like, yeah, okay, we could do it. They didn't mark the price down. I could do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have it. And nobody gave, nobody donated. And I'm like, well, I'm asking people who I think what? And God said, I'm not gonna let them give. I said, sir? He said, no, you must be the first partaker. So if you're not willing to, I said, well, I done paid for the site, and I done paid for the everything else. He said, no. You have to be the first partaker and make the first deposit into that bank account. You cannot ask. It's like David, I cannot offer the Lord something that costs me nothing. I cannot just say, oh, you give and give and give, but you haven't made a deposit. Now, I know some people say, well, it's my time, it's my effort, no. He wouldn't let nobody give me nothing until I'd actually made a physical money deposit in that account. So, you know, it's like anything else. I can't withdraw nothing that hasn't been deposited. You can't keep trying to get from an empty cup. And so I really highly suggest that as a coach, if you seek to serve other people, that you seek coaching from somebody else. Vanessa, were you going to add something?
No, I totally agree with what everybody has said. Absolutely.
So I guess my last question, I'm going to let everybody go, but what do you see coaching going in the future? Like as an industry itself, where do you see it moving toward? Is it going to remain the same, or are we going to still be trying to get, a lot of people to sign up with the same ways, or do you see any foretelling, knowing of where we're headed next?
Yeah, I'll just jump in. So there are definitely pivots that I see. There are shifts. Some of that is a economic based, or I believe that entrepreneurs had a little bit of a delayed impact to whatever is going on with the economy. So I think more coaches are seeing that now. And so we are going to be in a position of really demonstrating value more or in different ways, so that people don't consider it like a line item that they can cut out. Because what happens with coaching a lot is it's not tangible. It is not physical. And so sometimes people may struggle with value. For some coaches, there may need to be some done for you things added, some tangible things added to strengthen the value piece. And, embracing some of the, like AI and some of the things where people feel like, well, if I have this, I don't need, I might not need a coach, but really kind of demonstrating that's information, but we help with implementation. Like, and AI can't by itself give you that. So there's definitely pivots. And I think that there's definitely a place of the value, demonstrated value in different new ways. And then also maybe adding some done for you or some other things that feel more tangible that they can hold to help them kind of stay locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more of that. You always have to. Now, we hadn't got to that, Monica, about people niching down, that you just, you just do one thing, but I'm not saying Danielle used to tease us all the time. And this week you had a hot dog stand, and next week you're gonna open a car wash, and next week
next week you're doing taxes, next week you're watching kids, next week you're doing hair.
Yes, okay. You was on them live streams too, wasn't you? I get that part, like brand confusion. I understand that. But I can really look at my own business and realize when I started, I was singing, number one. And then I wrote my first book. But the book came with music. It came with a DVD. Yeah, the young kids, you have to look that up. And a CD at the same time. Okay, so I was really in three spaces: video, audio, and the book, print and paperback. So that was, as my little niece used to say when she was little, 4 monies. So, I think staying with the big umbrella, I'm still in literacy. I'm still in that space of the writing, publishing, promotion, taking that writing and that publishing and that promotion and just developing businesses off of it. So I'm still in that space. I'm not going to be cooking no hot dogs, and I'm definitely, I'm natural right now. I'm not, if I want to wear a wig, I'll buy one from somebody else. But otherwise, I'm still staying within my literacy venue and genre. But one of the things that happen is, as I said earlier, people ask me for more. And it was in line with my gifting. Yeah, I had to learn something. Yeah, I needed a coach for that. Yeah, I need to figure out how that's done. That's the reason why Vanessa and I are joined at the hip, because I'm like, automation, what? We got to do what? And I got to do that. And I got to have autoresponders with it. And I got what? Oh, all them emails. Oh, Lord. All of that. So, but I still had to learn that space. I understood that was the next level, because primarily it was the wave of the future. It was the wave of the current, but it was also what my clients needed. They needed to be able to. So am I going to send money? I not leave it on the table. That meant I had to send money somewhere else if I was not willing to learn. So I think, some of that coaching space, you have to decide, is it a yes or is it a no? Will I jump in and learn, or will I say no and watch that money walk out the door? It's the old, what is that, Miracle on 34th Street, when the Gimbels and the whatever the other company, Macy's and Gimbels, was like, okay, if we don't have it, send them down the street to Gimbels to get it. And then they come back to you because you showed value in making sure that the client had what they need, as opposed to, we don't carry that. And then you walk off. So I really see that major space as diversification and really expansion of what you do, rather than leaving that space. What are some, I guess, accompanying services? What are some accompanying products that your clients say they want? Does it involve a partnership? Does it involve a referral agreement? Does it evolve saying, all right, Ramonica, somebody wants to do video. Okay, let's have an agreement that if I refer somebody to you, it's a percentage, and here we go. My client still gets what they need because I found that source and resource, and we trust each other. We have a written something agreement, but that may be a part of that value that you're going to need. Correct?
Yeah, I love that you said that, because I think Vanessa and I had this conversation. There's some people that we watch in the online space, and I saw it again last night. I'm just going to say I see this with a lot of white men, and they attribute their success to the fact that they may all kind of come in with a similar following, possibly a similar audience. And in some cases, they're doing the same thing, but they work together as a group to grow individually. But it's like, I'm sharing this person's stuff. We're collaborating. We're talking exactly what you just said. And every time I see that, I'll be honest with you, it kind of makes me sick on my stomach, because I have not really connected with the crew of people that way. But also as a whole, I don't think as a whole, not this group, we don't do that well for various reasons that would probably take us way deeper than we want to go.
Yeah.
But I think that is definitely something that is important to me, is something that's on my radar, because what I'm watching them do is I'm like, this is where things are trending. This is how a one-person business is able to bring in 5 to 10 mil a year. This is how they are growing, because they're doing this as a group, and this is their support, and they're promoting and pushing each other's stuff. And again, I don't see it enough. So I am learning to just speak up when I don't see the things that I want. And usually my Heavenly Father connects me to those people. I was on Threads the other day, and I said, are Notions just for like white men? Because I really don't see anybody else using Notions, because that's who I've seen use Notions the most.
Yeah.
And there were some guys that jumped in and said, yep, you're right. For the most part, we do. But then also I was able to connect with some women, both black and white, who said, well, wait, because there's so few of us using it, I have a resource list now of, people of color who use Notion templates. And then this other chick says, hey, I got this. And so I think if we start to ask for the things that we want, I think we will get connected to those types of people. So yeah, I see more collaboration. Hopefully I'm seeing nano offers. I'm seeing one person business really be like a thing for some. I don't think that that's hit everybody yet, and not everybody has that desire or even the capacity. I'm seeing people unniche, and of course, I like that. I'm seeing people kind of refer to the whole space as like a media space, which was a confirming word for me, because the Lord had already shared, hey, social media is the new highway and byway, not just for entrepreneurs, but for a lot of people. Trevette, I heard you mention even AI. I've done some work for church groups, and I use some AI and some text messaging through the Glue platform to kind of bring all those things together. So I see a lot of trends. It just feels like sometimes I'm speaking to no one when I say it, because they're like, let that Ramonica go again. She always on some crazy new stuff. But it's like, I just keep up with the trends, and so it comes out early, and I just keep moving.
And we thank you, because you're able to keep up with the trends, because a lot of us are deep in what we're doing. Even if we're outsourcing, even if we have a team, it would take me off my game to be trying to do that. Like Van does the same thing. Charvette does the same thing. She's got a LinkedIn audio. I was like, is that a thing? Who knew that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I want to be on that. All right. She said, September, here we go. I was like, well, yeah, all right. I'm going to try it, because it's her and I trust her, and let's figure out. And she's going to send me a link, and I'm going to be, but it's those kinds of things that I think that's the reason why I do this. This is the reason why I have these panels and platforms, because like I said, at the top, this is my professional development. So I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I have my pen. I got my notebook in front of me. I want to learn from others. I don't do Threads. I don't even know what Notions is. I'm going to look it up later and figure it out. I mean, it's those kinds of things. It's my own And I'm very transparent. I don't have nothing to hide. So it's those kinds of things that I think once we get in those safe spaces, it's the trust factor for that. They have a trust factor that sometimes we don't in our community. And yes, that's a conversation for maybe women's history. Maybe I'll put the team back together and we talk about that, because that is a really, really place. But then it all has to do with the person who's leading it. It has a lot to do with the leader themselves. I mean, Vanessa and I have done events together so much so that my father-in-law was like, "Oh, y'all in business together?" I was like, "No, we each have our own businesses." He said, "Well, y'all do so much together." I'm like, "Yeah, but she's got 2 or 3 businesses and I got 2 or 3 businesses. Why can't we work?" So it was strange for him to see people doing events together that much. It's like, okay, y'all have one business together? No, we have 3 totally separate, but we can work with each other. We're committed to that. We're committed to being on each other's space and respecting what each other does. So I think it has to do with not only love, but it also has to do with respect. And you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to be comfortable with you. And that coaching space and people space will help you find out who you really are. And sometimes you realize, I didn't even know that was in me. What? And you got to acknowledge it. You got to face it. And you got to correct it. All right. So, Van, you're the last one to tell us what's going on. Where do people need to go if they want to work with you, and then I'm gonna let people go because I can talk all night. I am an ambivert, but I can talk all night. No,
all right. Well, if you are an author and you are looking at ways to monetize your message now that you've gotten that book done, I have a free masterclass that deals with 14 ways to monetize your message. You can go to the 10kbook.com to get that. That is the number 10. So it's the 10kbook.com. And you can get access to that masterclass. If you want to have a conversation with me, you can just go to talkwithvan.com. Talkwithvan.com, and we can connect. Awesome. But I want to say one thing though on that last question, because I didn't get a chance to answer that last.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Just on what all of you guys said was just so on point, but it was something that Charvette said that just really resonated. And just to kind of add on to that, in that coaching space, I think that as coaches, I mean, this industry is growing. Okay, all the projections and all of that, it's growing. It's absolutely growing. But in terms of the economics, I totally agree. It has been kind of that delay, and coaches are kind of feeling it right now as people are dealing with, the prices of groceries and the prices of this, and they're looking at what can I cut. I think as a coach, we have to learn how to properly articulate what the value is and showing that along the way, and not giving people unrealistic expectations. We have so many people out there that have had coach hurt because they paid all this money for coaching and they still don't have the result that they thought they were going to get. And a lot of that is the fault of the messaging of the industry, because if you're just starting out, I can tell you, buying my $997 class or jumping into somebody's $1,500 class, you're not going to be able in a weekend to turn that into a consistent $10,000 a month stream of income. And even if I give you all of my Go High Level templates and sign you up for the platform and give you 3 months, 6 months free, free access to it, if you don't have something else to go with that, you are not going to be bringing in a ton of money in the next, week or so. So I think as coaches, we really have to articulate realistic goals
Yeah.
and letting people know that if you're just starting out and you don't have a list, you haven't done any Charvette type events, you haven't picked up a Ramonica type video, you haven't done anything, you haven't written your book, you haven't been to a Julia Royston, monetize your message. It is not realistic that in the next month or two, you're going to be bringing in all this money. You got to build the foundation. And I think sometimes in our coaching message, we don't allow for, before this house goes up, you got to pour concrete, you got to dig the dirt, you got to do all of that. And it doesn't look pretty during that time. And at that point, you're going to have to spend money. And you buy this one thing, and now you got to buy something else. And you got to, you get this and you get that. And we got to let them know.
Yeah. And I think being honest for that and with that and that, the only guarantee I give is if you don't promote, nothing will happen. I mean, if you don't take that box of books out that closet and out that garage, nothing, I can't guarantee you what it will happen. I can't, some people have been shocked, like, I can't believe it. I said, well, yay, I'm happy for you. But I can't guarantee you numbers. I can't guarantee you anything, but I can guarantee you one thing. If you never tell anybody, if you never have any books on hand, if you never go live once, or it's going to be very hard to do. Yeah. I mean, you may have your own method of doing it with your own personality, but if you don't start where you start where you are and build it. And, and I can't truthfully even say, if you build it, they will come. Well, sometimes they don't come even after you build it. Sometimes, and who comes is not who you built it for. Ooh, ouch. But if you keep on building and you keep on going, you'll get the tribe, you'll get the community you're supposed to have. And maybe that community doesn't look like Charvette's. Maybe that community doesn't look like mine. Maybe that community doesn't look like Vanessa's or Ramonica's. It's what God positioned, gifted, giving you the talent to be able to handle. Sometimes your community is just 10 people. Sometimes it may be 2,000. Some people can only handle 10. And you do 10 and you work that 10 and you work that 5 and you're impactful, you get results, and then you move along. The Bible tells us, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, comparing yourself, we talked about comparison, is not wise. Learning from others, oh yeah. Gleaning wisdom and tools and strategies, downloading whatever the freemium is, getting on the webinar, finding out the information. But at the end of the day, you still have to say, is it a yes for me or is it a no? Thank you, ladies, so much for being with me tonight. I appreciate everything that has been said. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot to do, and we have a lot more coming up. Be sure and go to, it's in the comments, marketingplanner.great.com is grab my free marketing planner from Charvette Mitchell. You can always go to juliaakroyston.com. I got free stuff. I got all my sites, all my online stores are there. Social media, y'all know where to find me. I'm everywhere you want to be. And I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being my guest today. And I greatly appreciate it. I wish you well on everything you all put your hands to do. And everyone who is listening now or on the replay, my goal and my prayer always is that you live your best life. Be all that you can be. Let's go. Bye-bye.